Hey, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd do a review of my new favourite race day shoe for ultras and trail running. Now, I used these for my recent 100-mile race, which was the South Downs 100, and they performed really well. They were worn, I'll show you which ones they are. Basically, they were worn the full race, and the race ended up by going for 106 miles, I think it was, for one race, and I wore them throughout the full duration of the race. So yeah, I did a 10-mile sort of training run before the race and before deciding to choose these ones. So these shoes I think gave me a distinct advantage to actually going ahead and winning the race. So if we run through a few specs to start off with, because basically it's a massively long distance to wear one pair of shoes without a shoe change. And it was going through the day when it was hot, and then through the night when it was raining and wet. So a few specs. This is the Adidas Terrex Agravic Speed Ultra, and they're 38 in the heel with 30 in the forefoot, so it's an 8mm drop. Full Light Strike Pro midsole, TPU energy rods. You've got quite a minimal mesh-like upper with sort of structural overlays. There's not much sort of padding in the heel. It's the heel cup is very minimal. There's a little bit of padding on the sides there. It's a fixed footbed, so it doesn't sort of slide around. It's a gusseted tongue. Very long laces with the sort of ridges along it, and yeah, the outsole, basically you've got a continental rubber outsole. It's quite minimal lugs. It's only got 2.5 and 3.5 millimeter lugs. So it's 3.5 around the outside and then 2.5 on the inside, with that sort of split down the middle where it shows the exposed Light Strike Pro. So Light Strike Pro is basically sandwiching those energy rods, and you can see by the shape of them, they've got a massive rocker, especially at the front and even at the back as well. So it really does help promote a midfoot to forefoot onto toe off sort of good gait cycle. So it really encourages that. It's very curved, and I think that rocker was one of the main things that gave me the advantages in the race, because when it came to things like road use and hard packed trails and hard packed sort of fire roads, or it just basically went like a road shoe, and it gave me a distinct advantage to some of those people, I think, who are wearing the standard sort of speed goats or whatever trail shoes. It comes in at 260 grams. I had to size down half a size. This is a size UK 8.5. Usually I go with a size 9, but I had to size down half because they come up quite large. There's a relatively wide toe box there, which is quite nice, especially with ultras when your feet might swell up. So yeah, in terms of the surface that it performed really well on, I mean, there's not much lug depth there, but this continental rubber is very sort of sticky. So it was a mix of roads, hard packed mud trails. There was chalk on the South Downs, which was dry during the day and then wet during the night, which I was a bit concerned about, especially going downhill, but it just performed amazingly. The grip on these is fantastic. And then there was dry mud, there was wet mud, there was stiles with wood to get over, and there was sort of grass and through fields and all sorts of stuff, and there's wet and dry routes. So the only thing I think it wouldn't handle very well is if the mud gets too wet, because just due to the lug depth, but generally it performed amazingly. It's a very wide sort of mid forefoot area, so that's basically the landing platform. So I would say that this shoe is definitely suited for midfoot, forefoot strikers, because of the rocker. Also, you do feel that rocker when you put it on for the first time. And I've heard lots of people, they were surprised that I managed to do the full 100 miles in this one shoe, but I'm a sort of midfoot striker. But I wouldn't say this is recommended for if you're a heel striker, because for sort of slower paces, because the rocker might be too much over those longer distances for those sort of strikers. But it worked great for me, and it really helped promote just running as much as I possibly could. And when I wanted to pick up the pace, it really helped that as well. But with a 100-mile ultra, you're not really going to be going crazy fast. So it's more about continuing to run, especially up the hills and also down the hills. The cushioning, I think they've got the sort of durometer scale perfect for the sort of midsole foam. It's got enough cushioning to absorb the impact, and because it's high stack, it really protects the legs over those longer distances, and it's not too heavy. I was wearing Injinji quite lightweight toe socks during the race, which were the only ones I wore, and they drained really, really well, especially through the night when it was basically raining throughout the whole night. So this upper here, I don't think you can see it, it's like a thin mesh. They didn't feel good when your feet get totally soaked, but every shoe feels bad when your feet are soaked. But it's more a case of how quickly can you drain it off, and can you get on and get back to it feeling good again. So they drained really well with this upper, and then during the heat of the day, I think any heat dissipated quite well through that thin mesh, which you can almost see through. So yeah, it's almost translucent if you look through the inside to the outside one. Overall, I'm really, really, really happy with them. I think they gave me a distinct advantage, and I'm probably going to wear these for starting off at Lakeland, which is in about 6 weeks' time. And then in my drop bag, I'll probably put some pair of Tecton X's, or maybe the Mafatis, but I think they might be a bit too heavy. So I'll probably put some Tecton X in my drop bag as a backup. But these shoes, they perform fantastically. I think they retail at about £200. They're actually really hard to find in certain sizes, especially like 8.5 and around that. So because they've literally sold like hotcakes since they've been released, mainly due to people like Tom Evans and other people beating like course records and things. So yeah, if you can pick up a pair, I would. You might be able to get a discount, like 10% discount, if you go to Sport Shoes or some of those other places. If you set up it's like a new first order. Anything else? I don't think that's it. I mean, basically, I'm really happy with these shoes. I was running over, there were so many sheep and cows and poos and all sorts of stuff to actually avoid and try and get through. So after 100 miles, I had to wash them twice, basically, to try and get rid of the smell. But they're fantastic shoes, and I look forward to racing them in again. Racing with it in them again. And yeah, this is the Adidas Terrex Agravic Speed Ultra, and bring on the next race. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.